what it will do is it will take the encrypted data, exfiltrate it, and it's so easy to get. And it's missed by a lot of machine learning and behavioral analysis. Now, you might say, I don't, before I get into that, over here, so it decrypts it. And again, there's a bit of a mystery of how it has the decryption codes. Like, how does this piece of malware have the decryption codes to Google, to Internet Explorer, to, I'm trying to think of some other examples here. Windows Mail Live, Outlook, Firefox. Well, either there's some super geniuses that have figured out the decryption codes, which is very highly unlikely, or they've been able to somehow steal it from the actual companies in some form or another. They've been able to actually get the decryption keys. And every time these big companies are changing their decryption, you see a new version of this exploit that comes out. Now we're on Pony 2.2, which is being heavily used in 2017. And what it does is it renders the actual plain text of that password. So let me pull up an actual example for you. This right here, what you're seeing is this is whitewashed. What you're seeing right here is actually decrypted usernames and passwords, although we whitewashed the usernames because we're not going to actually show what company this was from. We're just saying that it's example.com. You're actually seeing their passwords. These are real passwords that people are using. You're seeing the actual, an example of the portal URL and the type of exploit that hit. You see a lot of these are ponies. Some others, there's other types of malware that does this. A Hawkeye, a Keybase, an Agent Tesla, something called an STR stealer, or STL stealer, and another called an Azerolt. And you also see the report date, when these were actually reported. Now, when I made this sample, it was early February. We're in May now. But in early February, we were seeing hits on this particular company daily. So we're getting very relevant information even in May, now that we're in May, if I were to re-pull a report on this particular company. However, column A is the actual email, column B is the actual decrypted password. So going back to this login data, this turns into this, right? It queries the actual emails, it queries the actual decrypted passwords, the portal login. So you really get columns A, B, and C, and then we can actually categorize further D, E, F, G, H, and beyond, just knowing what type of malware it is. So this is crazy because now we are finding a huge vulnerability with how a lot of organizations are dealing with passwords and password management. I'm going to take a step away from this and explain. Now, you might be a CISO, you might be a security architect and say, well, we have best practices at our company. We don't let people store their passwords inside of a browser. My rebuttal to that would be, are you sure? You might be using something like LastPass, which is a great company tool. However, what's stopping a user from storing their credentials in LastPass, but also storing them in Google Chrome or Internet Explorer by accident? So they'll have two copies, a protected copy and an unprotected copy. So these are the things you got to think through, challenges that businesses are facing in 2017. With that being said, we're going to go a little further in depth into how this exploit works, how it operates, on our next video. All right, this is just a quick reminder what you can do. So I showed you a lot about, in this video, what a pony exploit can do, and this would fall under the category of direct attacks against an enterprise from dark web or hacker activity. And again, this does coincide with our other videos where we touched on actual third-party data breaches and how hackers are exploiting organizations from those credentials. Now, what I want you to do is, if you are a part of an enterprise organization that has over 500 employees, please let us run a free sample report for you on your organization to show you exactly where you might have credentials on these crime servers that we're talking about. We'll do a free no-cost analysis of over 300,000 crime servers, and we will find if there is any any credentials for your organization. You can do that right from in the video description below. We're going to have a link, and just click that link and you'll be able to request this report. Thank you.